Ambulance, can you tell me exactly what's happened?
My son's unconscious, he's not breathing, he's in his room.
Alright, stay on the line with me. How old is your son?
22. Isaac!
Okay, I've organised help for you now, just stay on the line with me.
It's August 2019 and Paul Reis has just found his son Isaac unconscious in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Listen carefully, lay him flat on his back. I'm going to tell you how to do resuscitation, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to pump the chest hard and fast 600 times, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to count out loud while you're doing them so I know you're doing them correctly.
5, 6,
Good, that's a good rate.
8, 9, 10.
I just ended up then doing CPR on him, waiting for the ambulances to arrive. I just kept listening for sirens and I just couldn't hear any.
The paramedics worked on Isaac for another hour before pronouncing him dead.
For a while after Isaac's death, I used to blame myself and was very hard on myself because I thought I'd failed him.
Isaac's death is being investigated by a Brisbane coroner. His family believe he'd still be alive if his doctors and pharmacist had warned him of the deadly risks of taking so many prescription drugs.
When I found out the medications that were in his system from the autopsy report, Isaac didn't have a hope in hell of surviving from that mix of medications.
I think sadly this is not an exceptional case. This is the kind of mistake that's being made within a fragmented and chaotic health system.
Get him, Isaac!
Isaac Reis was an active, happy child who was passionate about his rugby league.
Always cracking jokes and making people laugh. He was definitely very compassionate and caring, and if someone was a bit upset or whatever, he'd brighten their day.
In year 12, he developed depression and anxiety. Then he injured his back while working in his dad's seafood shop.
It had a huge effect. It stopped him from being able to go to the gym. It stopped him from playing sport. He put on a lot of weight. It also affected his mental health.
In 2018, Isaac had suicidal thoughts and was admitted to hospital twice after attempting to overdose on medication. In mid-2019, Isaac was admitted to the private psychiatric hospital New Farm Clinic for 8 weeks.
The psychiatrist got him on an effective antidepressant whilst he was in hospital, and his mental health improved incredibly. He returned to the Isaac from old, where he was happy, looking forward to the future.
When he left the clinic in early August, Isaac was already on 7 medications. A week before he died, Isaac bought a packet of over-the-counter antihistamine, Alisoothe. A few days later, his GP prescribed the opioids endone and Mesindol Forte for back pain. The day before he died, Isaac had a panic attack. His GP prescribed the benzodiazepine, Calma.
He arrived at my shop and came out the back, and you could see he was affected by the medications, and he had a slip and a fall on the tiled area, and he was screaming in pain, so I called 000.
He was taken to hospital. The emergency doctor noted a red flag for addictive substance, but he was discharged with a script for more endone. That night, Isaac called his dad and asked to stay at home. He was worried about all the prescription drugs he was taking.
He wanted me to contact New Farm Clinic on the Sunday morning so that he could be readmitted, so that he could have all his medications reviewed.
At midnight, Paul put Isaac to bed. It was his son's last waking moment.
What issues do you think we should focus on highlighting with the submission to the coroner?
I think the point around that...
The Reis family has found an ally in retired insurance executive Patrick O'Connor.
He'll support Isaac.
Isaac had no chance
of survival with that level of medication, and I wanted to do anything I could to help them.
Mr O'Connor left his highly paid executive job in 2012 after being diagnosed with severe depression. He was prescribed a range of medications, including antidepressants, benzodiazepines and opioids.
I was struggling, and I reached a point where I didn't think that I was going to make it.
In desperation, he sought treatment in the United States. He was surprised to find there were more consumer warnings about prescription drugs than in Australia.
Inside this document is all of the really important warnings that you need to know about the medication.
In this country, these warning leaflets are called CMIs, Consumer Medicine Information.
The 10 medications that Isaac was prescribed and the 8 that he took on the day that he died, not one of them mentioned that there was a risk of death.
Mr O'Connor has authored a new report which claims CMIs, written by drug companies, fail to warn consumers of the most deadly risks. He's complained to the Australian Human Rights Commission and the Therapeutic Goods Administration.
I'm not complaining to the TGA that there's not a warning that I might have a rash behind my ear. I'm complaining to the TGA that I could die, and that's not in the CMI.
Opioids are the leading cause of drug deaths in Australia, responsible for 900 unintentional deaths in 2018. Benzodiazepines are the second leading cause of unintentional drug deaths, 684 in 2018. These two drugs alone caused more deaths than the national road toll.
Unfortunately, deaths like Isaac's are occurring all the time. We've seen them for years. The coroners around Australia have been investigating them for years. And to me, that really demonstrates that there's something wrong with the system.
Today, I want to announce that the government will invest in and work with the states in a national real-time monitoring system for prescription drugs.
The federal government announced a plan in 2017, but it's yet to be implemented. Each state and territory is still developing its own system.
We can't be using papers and pens to record key information. We can't be not noticing what is happening as a person moves with complex health problems through a complex, or in our case, a fragmented health system. It's no longer good enough. It puts lives at risk.
Paul Reis says systemic change is long overdue.
It should have happened years ago. We have the technology. They all need to get together and make this a reality.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.